Welcome back everyone to the channel for another video. This is Q50 Beast. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2016 HSV Maloo Gen-F. This is a Formula drift car that we're going to turn to a drag car. A special request from a subscriber, Can Row. It's a pretty light-bodied car, perfectly set up for the drag strip. I believe it's an Australian version of this car that it sports an LS engine. So it has a very powerful engine. So it made it pretty simple to get this thing up and down the track in a fast way. Okay, so that's enough of the talking. Let's go ahead and get into the tune. All right, going over to the conversions. There is no engine conversion, but we left this thing rear wheel drive. All right, going over to the engine, we upgraded the supercharger to max that out. For the brakes, we're doing race brakes and no training wheels. We're doing race suspension. The transmission, we're gonna go with the 4-speed drift transmission and a race differential. 4-speed diff, race differential. Over to the tires, we're gonna put a drag compound on this drag build. In the front tires, we're gonna leave it narrow. In the rear, we're going with 335 so we can get that power down. All right, so looking at the wheels, we chose this wheel. They were 40 pounds less than the original wheel, and they look very close to what it came with. So for the front, we let the front wheel at 18 and the rear wheel at 18. Leave the car as balanced as possible. All right, so for the front tires, we went 31.5 at the front for tire pressure and 15 in the rear so we can get that power down. For the gears, we went with 220 gears, 256 first gear, 161 second gear, 124 third gear, and 0.096 for the fourth and final gear. On the alignment, the rear camber, we zeroed that out so that we can get that power down to the ground. 30 in the front for anti-roll bars and 65 in the rear. And the springs went all the way soft in the front and all the way hard in the rear. Ride height, we raised the vehicle all the way up in front and rear. Dampening all the way soft in the front and 20 in the rear. Bump stiffness 20 in the front and all the way soft in the rear. Moving over to aero, for front and rear, we went all the way towards speed. Nothing with brake and nothing with the differential. Here's the share code if you're interested in this tune. Pretty simple launch with the car, and it's off to the races. Extremely smooth through the gears. Remember, this is a 4-speed transmission, and we're getting up and down the track. Look at that. 189.76 and a half mile. And this is what the car looks like inside. Pretty cool. It's a drift car. Nothing much to look at, but it's pretty cool. It sounds amazing though. This LS engine sounds great in this car. Let's go ahead and give it a launch. And this thing takes off pretty well. You hear the supercharger. This thing gets up and down the track. It's very smooth through the gears. The downshift sound really good. All right, so we're gonna put this thing in a 1/4 mile and see what we can get out of it. Simple launch, and we're off to the races. Small chirp, and we're gone. Heat the tires up, there is no chirp. And look at what we're able to put down in a 1/4 mile. 164.44 in the 1/4 mile. And this is what the car looks like outside when it leaves. Pretty planted. Just a very nice car. Really cool for drag racing. Just something different. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. This is Q50 Beast.